Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about AWS Lambda functions. What is Lambda function? What are the serverless technologies and those things we will discuss today. Before that, so if you have application, how many ways we can deploy and for hosting the application. So we can use EC2 instance. You can create EC2 instance and one more is Elastic Beanstalk, and one more is serverless computing that is called Lambda. So when it comes to the EC2 instance, you have to launch the instance and you have to install the technical stacks like you need to install Java, required tools, and install the necessary libraries and run the application and manage the OS update, technical stacks updates, everything, and manage the application versions and manage the scaling and pricing also is usually done for hour, but in the how many hours you have to host your application, though the time the billing will comes to you. So that is the use case in EC2. So you have to take care everything. Only the AWS will provide you the EC2 and remaining things you have to take care. When it comes to the Elastic Beanstalk, it's a pass, right? So you can launch the environment and pre-install the technical stack. Like it will come up with Java, .NET or Git, whatever the required tools, it will comes to you and deploy your application. AWS will manage only that OS updates and technical stack updates. And the scaling also it will taken care by the AWS. And when it comes to the pricing is usually uh, by the billing by the hours. Okay. And when it comes to the serverless, so you can write the code and deploy. It will create the so remaining complete taken care by the AWS when it comes to the Lambda. So only you have to write the code and deploy it. Rest of AWS will take care. Okay, you will charge the milliseconds when code is executed. That for that only it will be charged. Okay, now we'll talk about the serverless. Okay, what is serverless and how to use those things. Suppose serverless is a suppose I have to deploy one web application. So what we need to do, you need some programming language like Java, .NET, Python, those things, and now you have to deploy application. So you need some physical server or virtual machines we need, and we need to install the platform, and we need some sort of web servers to run your application. Then you have to deploy our application, right? So when it comes to the serverless is a technology which helps to running functions directly without worrying about the details of which server and especially called as function as service. So we will call it as a function as a service. So we will see what is function and all. And, so functions and operations in serverless do not run all the time. They will execution only when it requires request is arrives and the user will be charged whatever the code is executed. In AWS, function as a service is implemented as Lambda. So now we will discuss about Lambda. So what is Lambda means? Lambda is a fully managed AWS service and it offers as a function as a service. What is function? Okay, this is the resource to run our code in AWS Lambda. Okay, now how many ways we can access the AWS resource? One is directly console. You can access through the console. You can log in with the username password and you can access. Other way is you can use AWS CLI. So you need access key ID, secret key ID, and it will be integrated with the AWS console, and you can use the AWS. And another one is AWS SDK. It is a you can access through the some programming like Java, .NET, Python, JavaScript, Go language, and other different ways. Now we will see the developers are responsible to the they will write the code like to access the AWS resource via programming language like SDK. So in Python they will use Poto3. Poto3 as a AWS SDK resource using Python to access AWS S3. And when it comes to the Lambda, we will have some functions, triggers, events. So here mainly the function means the resource to run our code in AWS Lambda. When talk about triggers, a trigger is a resource or configuration that invokes AWS Lambda function. The trigger can be included AWS services that you can configure to invoke a function. When it comes to the event is a JSON formatted document that can contain the data of Lambda function to process. And the event execution is an execution environment provides the resources, the isolated runtime environment for the Lambda function. And deployment package means we can deploy Lambda function code using the deployment package. The deployment support two types. One is a zip file that contains the function as a code and it is deployed. Another one is container image. And runtime means the runtime provides language specific environment that runs on our event execution. So let's see AWS Lambda. If you go search the Lambda, it will comes to the Lambda. So you can create a function, means the resource to run our code. So you can create a function from scratch or use blueprints or use container image. Suppose you can give the function name, first function or first demo first. Function name is demo first. And runtime means, as I said, so the runtime provides the language specific environment that runs an event execution. So I need Python. Python is runtime. And architecture, if you want, you can use uh, 86 or ARM64. And permissions, if you have IAM role, if you have any specific role to this function, you can use that one. Otherwise, for this is the demo, right? I'm just going with default. And advanced settings, I don't use anything as of now here. Enable VPC, enable tags, those things, and create function. This is the sample function. It will be created. Now it will, this is the function and it is asking add a trigger or destination. So currently I don't need anything here. By default it will comes lambda function py. This is the code and if you want to test and monitor and configurations, everything it will come. Currently I don't have anything. Suppose I just wanted to print. I just add in This is a small function where I just can print. Okay, now I need to do deploy and I need to test. So test, you can use this function many times. For this you can use the test, and I'm giving first test demo. And if you have this event should be private, you can keep it with you. If you have shareable, you can use. And you have to provide that key value. So let it be same and test. Line number 5, it have some first demo. Let me remove this return statement. I don't need anything. Deploy, test. The response is null. We don't have anything. We didn't call any event for this one. If you observe, this is the defining, and we don't call this event and content. We will see what is this uh, event and contest. Okay. And now we will see actual use case using Lambda. So when comes to the here, um, now I wanted to stop an EC2 instance. Whenever the EC2 instance is stopped, I need to send a notification. Okay, that is the use case, and we will see how it will be done. So here, if you see, um, the event is a dictionary which holds the values passed when trigger is Lambda trigger function. Okay, it will have dictionary. It will hold the values. When comes to the con context, so it is a bootstrap context which has the information about the current function. So we are defining the function. These are the parameters. These are the attributes, event and context. Okay. Now we will see the requirement is whenever the EC2 instance stops, we need to send a notification, email notification. So for that one, what are the things we need to do is, so we need to create a SNS topic, and we can create a IAM policies, and we will see how it will be work. So steps, if you see the steps, first one is need to create SNS topic. So I need to send some notification topics, standard or FIPO. I'm going with standard and name, demo, EC2, EC2 alerts. Display name also, if you want, you can give the same demo EC2 alerts, and the remaining I'm going with default. And subscriptions, create a subscription. I don't have subscription now. And subscription type, I'm going with email. You can give your email, easyready devops at gmail.com. Create subscription, and if you see your subscription, this is the one. Ah, see demo EC2 alerts notification. If you see the confirmation, the subscription confirmed. Now if you see, if you refresh the topics, subscriptions, the subscription is confirmed. Okay, now SNS is completed. Now we need to create IAM role. Okay, to access this SNS, and you need to see the logs, right? Whenever stops. So service to service communication, you need IAM. So Lambda wants to access CloudWatch or SNS. So for that one, you just need a IAM role. Before that, we can write our policies, own policies, and we can use these policies in this role. So create policy, to services. Here I wanted to see the logs, CloudWatch, CloudWatch logs, access. I wanted to see all the CloudWatch logs, and whenever a trigger happened, everything. And this is, we don't use any specific, it will be for all the resources. Okay, and request actions, I don't use anything, going with default. Now add another additional permissions. Here I am using EC2 specific, SNS. So here only publish whenever the EC2 instance is stopped, I need to publish this. And here only specific resource, and current region. If you wanted to use current region, you can use provide the specific region or any region, and the topic name. So the SNS topic is demo EC2 alerts, correct, right? And demo EC2 alerts, add. Now, if you want to provide any tags for this policy, you can provide and review. And you can provide the name, demo EC2 let's policy, and description you can provide the same as well, and just create policy. The policy is created. Demo EC2 alert policy. This is the policy, and this is the first list of statements. This is the first statement. One is logs, CloudWatch logs. Another one is EC2 publish. Now we need to IAM role for Lambda by attaching this policy. Now go to the roles, create role. So AWS service we need to select, and here Lambda you just need to select Lambda, select next, and you have to select your own policy, custom policy. Next, provide the name, demo EC2 alerts role, permission tags, create role. Now role is created. Now we need to create a Lambda function by choosing this role. Now go to Lambda functions, create function, new function. So the function name is demo EC2 stop alerts. So whenever someone wants my EC2 stops, I need to send a notification. So Python. So permissions you just need to change by using existing role. You can select the role demo EC2 alerts, create function. Now you just need to add a trigger. So we have seen what is trigger. A trigger is a resource or configuration that invokes AWS Lambda function. The trigger can be include the AWS services that you can configure, invoke it. So you just need to select what is our trigger is here, event bridge, that is CloudWatch events. Here, if you have any existing rule, you can use, or if you want to create a rule, the rule name, and you just need to provide. If you have any, when this trigger need to be happened, whether it is scheduled expression or event patterns, okay, those things you can use. Now, rule name, demo EC2 stop alerts, rule description, I'm giving the same. See, I'm going with event pattern. Here I am using EC2 because EC2 is the my resource, and EC, the sub one is EC2 instance state change notification. So whenever the EC2 instance stops, I just need to send the notification. Here only the state change, right? We are not going with EC2 instance like terminated, stop, those things. And state changed. So state change is stopping. So whenever it is stopping, I just need to send a notification. This is the rule I am configured now. I'm adding this. This is done. Configuration is done. Now go to the code. Here you just need to write the code. So we just need to import Boto3 because this is the Python code where you want to access AWS S3. So you just need to Boto3, import Boto3. Uh, we'll do one thing. I have code ready. I just going explaining that code. So we are importing Boto3 and we are using SNS to publish this function, and we are defining the function, and these are the event patterns and EC2 instance. Uh, so we are getting the EC2 instance detail and the instance ID, whatever we have stopped, and we are printing that instance ID. We are messaging the instance is stopped, and we are using the publish. That ARN of this one is you just need to use the same ARN. This is the ARN. You just need to replace with your ARN, and the subject. If you want, you can use the subject. EC2 instance selects the email subject. Okay. So if you want to see this one, Moto 3 SNS publish in the official document, it will show the topic SNS Moto 3. Okay. And if you wanted, what are the argument mandatory values? So ARN is the must, and the remaining optional one. If you wanted to see the publish, and what are the fields you just need to pass, or subject and message, those values you can take as a parameters. So in this one I'm just going with simple to publish that one, taking ARN message subject, and I just need to deploy this function. And if you want, you can have test. Otherwise, what we will do, let's stop one instance. So suppose all are running. So my function is whenever it is stopping, I just need to send a notification. Suppose just stop the instance. Now we just need to get a email. So then only see, I'm getting the notification. The instance with ID is stopping. See how much simple this is. So even you can see the logs as well. If you go to the monitor, go to CloudWatch, by default it will be pick. AWS Lambda demo EC2 stopping alerts. You will get complete logs, the start request ID, everything. Okay. So this is what we will for this use case for the demo. So whenever my use case is whenever the stopping EC2 instance, I just need to send a alerts. So now we are getting the alert through email. So that's all about in this session. So we have discussed the Lambda function serverless and uh, the use case, and we have seen serverless everything. If you like the video, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.